Hello and welcome to my Honest Thoughts 4. Today I would like to discuss a topic, something that came to my mind today, and it's the topic of freedom. Why, you may ask, I thought about freedom? Well, today I've watched a film that has gained popularity over again in the last few weeks. That film is being 1984. It is a very interesting film, and I don't remember if I watched it in the past or not, but it was definitely worth it. Now, what did I want to discuss after watching this film? I wanted to discuss freedom. And there are a few things that I wanted to discuss about it. First is that the in nowadays our freedom is really dependent on something. For example, money. Second thing that I wanted to talk about is that all humans, or that we are all humans, and that all of our conflicts are mostly based on our differences. And the third thing is the scene in the film of Five Fingers. Ah, freedom nowadays. What a theme. And what did I, let's start from the beginning. What is freedom? The subject of freedom is different for other people. But the definition of such word is the power to of the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants, or the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. Both meanings are pretty similar because not being enslaved is, uh, being enslaved deducts your freedom, which means you don't really have freedom when you're enslaved. Now, what is freedom nowadays? Let's say I want to get ice cream. That's a freedom of my own. I want to get ice cream and I have the possibility to get ice cream. Well, what else? I can go to a park, I can go there, I can go to a restaurant, I can go watch a film. There are a lot of things I can do. But here's the thing, all of these things depend on money. Money, you see, money, money. There's a little theme, you see. Now, freedom right now for all of us depends on money. We need to pay to do something, to be able to do that, which means we don't have a complete freedom because we can't act on our own without something supporting us. In this case, that being money. What else? Well, time consumption is huge for money. What was in the past? What was the freedom in the past? Cavemen. They ran around, they beat people with sticks, fought each other, hunted, made a family. That's those were their possibilities. And they could do anything, which means they were free. Right now we have infinite possibilities. And what an irony of that is that we have much more possibilities, but with much less freedom because of that, which is a very interesting concept. Now, what can I say about that? Well, it sucks. Right now, in tribes in Africa, for example, they consider themselves free when we, uh, people that live in rich countries with so many possibilities, we don't consider ourselves free. It's because there are a set of rules that we need to follow. For example, pay for something so it would be in our hands, or you need to follow the law, or otherwise you will be arrested. That is a simple concept. That is a simple structure of our society, and it deducts our freedom overall. From one side, it's a good thing that we don't have to do something out of our minds, like jumping out of the building and killing someone in the process. But at the same time, there is less freedom, which is terrifying. Yeah, but what can I say? Freedom, the meaning of freedom changes over time, and it becomes more dependent on something instead of being totally free. What separates a human from an animal? It's its own independence. It's the differences between one human and another. We're unique, and we should be proud of that. But no one respects each other's uniqueness. Most conflicts are based on those specific differences. You don't believe me? Let me give you an example. My product tastes better than yours, and you disagree with me. That is our difference. We have different opinions, and then then the conflict arises because we couldn't just talk it out and change one of our minds. There is one God. No, there are multiple, and that is our differences. And if we don't talk it out, the conflict will rise. This territory belongs to us. No conflict. All the conflicts are usually based on our differences, on our uniqueness. They could be avoided, but nobody wants to agree with others, although they can change their opinion on the subject. It's just they changed one opinion, but our uniqueness, we should respect it, right? Our uniqueness, it was, it's what it was. No, 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 no. You see, humans cannot understand others' uniqueness. They're always dependent on themselves. They think they're right. They think they are the ones that should be believed in. Now, what's interesting is that it could be avoided, but we're just humans. And humans want to prove themselves right. They have their own opinion and they think they're always right. They only open up to those who they want to. Unfortunately, those are not all people. Well, that is a very interesting thing to think about. If we weren't unique, we wouldn't be humans. But if we are unique, the conflicts will rise. Well, that is sad. The third subject for today, a scene from the film 1984, The Scene of Five Fingers, as I like to name it, as I like to call it. What is the film 1984 about? It's based on the book 1984 and it's set in the world, in a specific country where there is a regime that is called the party that believes in one big brother and that everyone believes in one thing. It's, you can say, a regime. It is a tyranny, but just no one thinks about it. They just live their lives and they're fine with it. And there is a thing called thought crime. It's a crime of thinking differently, of doing something that the party disagrees with. And the film concentrates a lot on this topic of freedom. And one of those scenes is the scene of Five Fingers when our main character is tortured. Earlier in the film, he wrote a quote in his dictionary. A freedom is the freedom to say that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Everything else follows. And then during the torture, closer to the end of the film, this phrase was brought up again to him. And the torturers asked him how many fingers he held in the air. There was 4. And of course, our protagonist answered 4. And then the next question followed. And if the party says there are not 4, but 5, then how many? And then he proved our main character wrong. He tortured him, and by those means, he proved that if the party says there are 5 fingers, there are 5 fingers. Whatever the party says is true. That means the subjects of this party do not have freedom. And there are a lot of powerful quotes from this film, such as who controls the past controls the future, who controls the present controls the past. And power is in tearing human minds to pieces and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. A film is a very powerful example of subject of freedom and what could happen to us in the future if such said freedom is lost. Do I recommend to watch this film or read a book? For sure, yes, I recommend it. It's you might not like it as a film. It might be too adult for you, but still, the subject of freedom that is brought up, you should really watch it. Because when this film was first came out, a lot of people thought that this was just about a fantasy world, that this didn't exist in real life. But as we can see nowadays, and through the history, that's not what we that's untrue. It's real. Sometimes it's very real. Maybe not in such huge colors of being tortured and the lack of freedom in every single way, but still, we like that subject. We like that freedom. Now, what can I say about the film? Anything else? Any other opinions? I liked it. Too much sex. Yippee! We have added the video. Wow, I've changed my tone so much. I have actually recorded this in three parts because I wanted to read every single one independently to form my thought about it and then say because oh hello, get it. Anyway, um, so to form my thoughts around every single subject independently and not in one huge mass because as if you could see in my previous videos, although I'm still not structuring really well in the past it's like a mess, a complete mess. I just don't know anything, what to say, what to do. Well, I guess this is the end of the video. And yeah, guess what music is gonna play? The Simpsons. Yeah, the Simpsons. All right, have a nice day, everybody. And I'm going now. Bye.